First league of the day, playing through Moonshadow with a couple new cards from the recent Lorwyn Eclipse set. We've got 4 copies of Shadow, 4 copies of Nethergoyf, 3 copies of Moonshadow from Lorwyn Eclipse, the 1-mana 7/7 with 6 -1/-1 counters. We've got 4 Thoughtseize, obviously, in our Shadow deck, 4 Bauble, 4 Street Wraith, 4 Unholy Heat, 3 copies of Traverse the Open Wall to help find things like Abigale, Eloquent First Year, to find Street Wraith, Shadow, or whatever our threat we want is. We've got 2 copies of Hepatra's Mark to not only protect our big beefy creatures, but remove all of our counters from Moonshadow in a pinch. 2 Temur Battle Rage, 2 Wrenn and 6, a card I really believe in Moonshadow, being able to hit your land drops without having to draw lands, keep pumping your shadows, keep pumping your Moonshadows. We've got the Abigale, Eloquent First Year to combo with our Shadow as our pseudo Temur Battle Rage. Tarfire, Seal of Fire, Fatal Push, Dismember to round out the removal package and help pump up our Death Shadows, or Moonshadows, and Nethergoyfs. In the sideboard, we've got a big Traverse package with Graveyard Trespasser, Magebane Lizard, Collector Oof, and Kroxa, and Obsidian Charmall to help out in a variety of matchups like Storm, Affinity, the Solitude matches, Flage, any of the control matchups, and Tron. 2 Vexing Bauble, 3 Damping Sphere, 2 Meltdown, 2 Pyroclasm. So let's go ahead and hop into it, see what's up. Surely 19 lands is too much. I don't think it is. Like, I think hitting your lands in Shadow is so important because you need to be able to fetch and shock and get your life total low enough for Shadow itself. And then now that we've got like Moonshadow in the deck, we need to hit fetch lands. A bunch of removal spells, no threats. We're definitely chunking this back. You just crack a beer? No, I cracked a Monster Energy. Like the complete opposite of a beer. All right, much better. We've got a Nethergoyf. We've got a Thoughtseize. See what we're up against. Actual factual hardened scales. Well, I'm glad to go ahead and cast these Mishra's Baubles into a Vexing Bauble. Option number 1, I could play out the Nethergoyf. I kind of want to just Thoughtseize here. So I know their next draw is kind of dead, so I don't hate just trying to slow them down. Yeah, so they don't currently have green mana. Just take a Hardened Scales, say go. Do you have an Earth? Watery Grave. Why do they have a Watery Grave? Sultai Hardened Scales. Oh boy. Third Vexing Bauble into the or third Mishra's Bauble into the Vexing Bauble. Not feel particularly good. Fair. So we know they drew that second Urza Saga. Fortunately, this Vexing Bauble being in our hand means we can't fetch it out into turn here. For this Raucous Theater. This thing being in hand bad. Rewarded for not cracking our fetch. Akir coming in with the 2-month Prime resub. Thank you so much. Welcome back to the subscribers. Here's a Moonshadow. I'll go ahead and Raucous Theater. I've got Mishra's Bauble if I see something I like want to draw into. This is pretty good too. I'll just deal my 4. I'm really just looking for like a Battle Rage here. Take that. Do I have any fear of them getting a Pithing Needle naming Bloodstain Mire? I would assume that they would just get like a Soul Guide Lantern or something. Let's get a Overgrown Tomb. So we have Fatal Push available if we want it, or Hapatra's Mark, depending on what they do. Mox Opal. What are we going to do with this Mox Opal? Just like a Walking Ballista for 1. All right, so let's Fatal Push the untapped 6/6. We'll take 5 here. Now, are they dead? If I Tarfire the Walking Ballista, the Nethergoyf grows to a 6/7. But that's not lethal because that would just be 13. So I just need to attack, make them block, and if they don't block, I kill them. Fortunately, opponent has seen the line. Here's a Shadow. Go. Chalice on 1 really toasts this list. Well, it's a good thing nobody's playing Chalice on 1. Grist? How are you fitting Grist in this deck? Vibro, what's up? Is this supposed to be just like Hardened Scales mid-range or something? Malevolent Rumble, Grist. Is there some like counters based combo I don't know? Like, I'm assuming Agatha's Soul Cauldron. That would make sense with like the grist and whatnot. But I don't know. Still feels dicey. Well, we called that one. So are they gonna like Soul Cauldron onto one of these and Ozolith onto the other? Okay. That's a pretty good one. To make this attack and force the chump. Battle Rage off the top. Not quite. So this does what? They have to block 2 insects on the Moonshadow. What's up? Just got here. Hope y'all are doing well. Quick questions. What is happening? Well, we're playing Jund Death Shadow. An opponent is playing some sort of Sultai hardened scales. And as we know from our extensive amount of playing Death Shadow variants over the years, one of the worst things we can ever run into playing a Shadow variant is a stream of chump blockers. So naturally, to my surprise here, we register Shadow and have since run into a stream of chump blockers. Triple checking to make sure I have Delirium here. Funny enough, Traverse for Abigale would have won it. Would it have? Abigale on what? So Could have floated mana off this other Mox Opal before searching to get another Mox Opal and use it to make another construct. Well, on the bright side, I am glad I put these meltdowns and meltdowns and collector oof in the sideboard. Sideboarding Colgan's Command. Let me just drop from this event and go register for a new one. See the same opponent with Colgan's Command, like 4 Colgan's Command, 4 Ancient Grudges in the sideboard. Well, that also just kills me. Come on. You got the Lava Spur boots for the purposes of killing me, or for the purpose of killing me, so I'm gonna need you to hurry up and strap up that construct and kill me. There you go. Just strap up the boots. If I have the removal spell, like, you're not beating that anyway. So we got meltdowns, we got collector oof. Is there anything else I want? Like pyroclasm might be okay since they're on the grist plan. Charmal can take out sagas. Might bring in like 1 pyroclasm. Seal and Tarfire don't kill much of anything. Patra's Mark, probably a little mid because they're not really targeting my stuff. Rin, not great. We'll just do like this. Show me battle rages. Yeah, got meltdown. Thoughtseize into meltdown. Bound Ravager. Double Urza's Saga. Darksteel Citadel. Okay. Hold, brothers. Sure. All right. So we got Raucous Theater here. Sets up double red for our Charmaw. Moonshadow. can't charm all this turn because they only have one land out that produces colorless. Just get Stomping Ground. All right, I actually don't mind 4th land there. Could Melt Down. If I just want to get the Tormod's Crypt off the board and try to set up for a future Unholy Heat being live. Or I can just Unholy Heat, because even if they Tormod's Crypt, they lose an artifact to shrink the construct token, so the Unholy Heat kills it anyway. Probably sounds a little bit better. There's like F6. Another Charm off the top would be hot. It's okay too. What's this? Dismember my Moonshadow. Okay. Got Arcbound Ravager, 2 unknowns. Zabaz. Zabaz Ravager. Sweet. Let's Meltdown for 2. Yay. We got a Verdant Catacombs to attack for lethal. Game 3 on the draw. Is there anything I'm changing up? I didn't have to show them Collector Oof. Did show them Meltdown. Showed them Charmaw. They showed me Zabaz. Just roll with it. I would like to show them Teamer Battle Rage to the face. All right, let's see how this does. Turn 1 Urza Saga usually means they have a Mox Opal in hand. I'm thrilled with that. Never saw it coming. Throw back. Float a mana. Should have fetched. One, two, three, four puts me at 15. 1, 2, 3, 4 puts me at 11. So I can double shadow next turn. Now, what are they going to do? They need like a Zabaz in hand to turn on the Mox Opal, but if they had Zabaz already, I'd assume they would have played it. You have a Ravager. Imri, Lurker of the Lock. Or Hardened Scales. I feel like you just take the Vexing Bauble so that you can play it off of the spawn token and have Mox Opal online. Opponent chose Urza Saga instead. All right, so let's get another Blood Crypt. Shadow. Go. We know they've got an Urza Saga. No other known information. I get the Soul Cauldron. So you can do this and replay Vexing Bauble. Which is fine. It's like build your own dark ritual. This is dangerous territory you're getting into, OP. All right. So I have potential lethal with Peatland plus Battle Rage Shadow if they don't block. So That seems like the best place to start. All right, we have a long overdue exclamation TBR kill in chat. Long, long, long overdue. It's probably not that long overdue. Ugh. All right, so Hardened Scales round 1 means we should see, I'm going to say Merfolk round 2. It's my prediction. Okay. So I can traverse for a swamp on 1, and then Swamp Moonshadow Street Wraith on 2. I don't think that's good enough on the play. This is better. Still not good, but leading on the Blood Crypt for the Nethergoyf in case I find a Moonshadow. I can get a counter off of it with the fetch. Also saving for a Surveil. Ravioli. Hmm. Guess we'll just get a Overgrown Tomb here. Swing in for a couple. Opponent thinks because I've got basic or swamp forest up, I can't have a removal spell. Okay. Take that. It's Nethergoyf out of Flage range. Probably don't want that, so I'm just going to go ahead and get a Surveil here. Try to grow this Nethergoyf. Hopefully opponent is nice and does not Blood Moon me here. Turn 3 and they didn't do anything. Is this going to be like Raven Charm, exile my graveyard, untap Flage? Gonna feel so bad if I call this line. I just don't have anything. Legend of Roku. Lage, Ragavan, Voice of Victory. So I need a way to get another card type into the yard. That is another card type. Ooh. If they weren't dead, I would have just gotten a forest here so I could keep holding up Patra's Mark. But because they're dead, and I'm hoping they don't run Solitude, it shouldn't matter there. So we've got Graveyard Trespasser, we've got Pyroclasms. Is this a matchup I have any interest in? Kroxa? I wish I got opponents to play games like that. Same. My typical Boros opponent is like turn 1, Ragavan, turn 2, Guide plus Pride, turn 3, Discharge your dude plus Goblin Bombardment, turn 4, like a Johnny, I spell snare it, land second a Johnny. All right. I don't know what you expected out of me. I could bring in Magebane just as like a big butt that gets in the way. I don't hate that. Poured out a couple Wraiths. Thought Seize. This is probably a matchup that like I really want to try to hit Abigale, Death Shadow Abigale. They probably don't have many ways of getting that off the board. Yeah, always the nuts. It's usually how it is, but like you said, every now and then you get a match that doesn't go that way. All right, Ren and 6. I need you to show the people what you can do. Just gonna pass back with Unholy Heat up. So if this is a Johnny, go into combat first. Glad to see you're playing with my favorite card, Nethergoyf. I've played with Nethergoyf a few times here and there. It's on the list of cards that I would say are acceptable on the stream. Take that, vile villain. I assume Rin is not long for this world, but I don't really need it to be long for this world. Off topic, if you wanted to splash some red cards, sideboard cards, and blue-black flash, would you add 1 or 2 steam vents? Probably just it. First off, it depends on how big of a splash you're talking. But I would probably just add 1. You've got a lot of fetches in that deck. I'm just trading off this Ren for Ocelot Pride, right? Not thinking too much about it. Here's Nethergoyf. Play Bloodstained Mire in case I need to get basic Swamp here. Do 1 red pip cards like Meltdown. Yeah, you should be fine with just a Steam Vents. if you really wanted to go spicy, you could go a Thundering Falls instead. But I usually find if I want to run a tapped red source, I almost always want to run an untapped red source as well. I never want to get like caught with my pants down needing an untapped red source and hitting a tapped one. Legend of Roku hits Goblin Bombardment, Sacred Foundry, Sacred Foundry. I was really hoping they were going to attack with this cat token so that I could block, force the issue with the Soul Guide Lantern, and then just have like Street Wraith. Like, I might as well attack with the Nethergoyf because I need to get cards or creatures off the board, knowing that they have Goblin Bombardment. And I'm likely going to be following up with Graveyard Trespasser this turn anyway. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay. People at home, pay attention. This bad. This means that I have a priority opportunity before damage is dealt to take an action. So they get to exile my yard. My Nethergoyf becomes a 0/1. I get priority again. I can take an action and grow the Nethergoyf. If you want to kill the Nethergoyf, let the damage happen. Get the 1 damage marked on the Nethergoyf, and then sacrifice the Soul Guide Lantern to kill the Nethergoyf. They might have wanted to keep the cat, but I don't think this is a play. I don't think you should care about this cat, like, ever. Cat does not matter. Now, they have Goblin Bombardment. I think I'm just going to go ahead and Thoughtseize. Yeah, the cat just does not matter in the slightest in this spot. All right. So I need opponent to be nice and not hit a Flage right now. Is this like a Wrathus, guys? Well, you know what? I said don't hit a Flage, and they did not hit a Flage, so joke's on me, I suppose. Do I have any way of stopping this Roku? I mean, it stops Roku. Is it ideal? Probably not. Is there any merit to just letting them do this and then like double Pyroclasm next turn? Probably not. Kept a card on top. Always terrifying. Guide of Souls. Is Guide of Souls worth keeping on top there? I'll save this Traverse for a turn in case I find Delirium. Tar Fire, Seal of Fire. Mishra's Bauble would all get Delirium online. Holy Heat gets Delirium online. All right. What do we want? Probably just Shadow, because if I top deck another Traverse, I can get Abigale. Shadow's a 5/5, so it's not dying too much. I can play Nethergoyf from the yard next turn. Come on, Traverse for Abigale. One time, Traverse for Abigale. Or just Battle Rage. All right. Abigale does the thing. Hiya. Let's take the screenshot. Save that for later. Like drawing well, this can't be. It happens from time to time with Shadow. It's just the other like 3,000 archetypes in Magic the Gathering that it doesn't happen with. Two and 0 with Jund Death Shadow. Is this the... No. Name was just similar to the last round opponent. Sure. So if I Abigale onto Moonshadow, it's whatever it is with all the -1/-1 counters, right? And they just can't remove them. So that seems not good. Heatland. I could just get basic Swamp here. Go like basic Swamp, Moonshadow, Bauble. But if I'm going to do that, I might as well just do the Peatland. Reconsider. Well, it's a little bit awkward because, like, I need the cards to be cast after my threat to get the triggers, but I want to cast the Bauble on myself before I do anything to get the Scry. So, one way or the other, it's not working out too well. Staring down Ocelot Pride. I could just Abigale the Pride. I guess the downside of that... Is there a big downside? Probably not that big of a downside. hit. I'd rather find removal spell. That's not bad. I could just go Thoughtseize Nethergoyf. I've got Delirium online for next turn. So like next turn I could go Shadow Abigale. Taking Spyro here. Take Spyro, just like don't care about the Blood Moon, or take the... No, I don't want to give him the free discard Flage. If you get Blood Moon, you get Blood Moon, but I've got basic Swamp and I've got a good chunk of power staring you down. You don't really have a follow-up. About to say, I don't think this is an attack you can make. Opponent chooses not to cast anything with one unknown card in hand. That would lead me to believe that their unknown card is a Thraben Charm. Kind of the only thing I can think of. So what if I just attack with the Moonshadow and then go Swamp, Death Shadow, Abigale? Or is there a reason I would need to fetch and shock? Kind of just doing this to grow the Moonshadow. Leaving fetch up beats charm hitting the yard. It doesn't, because they would get the first strike damage, and then after the first strike damage, they could charm, exile the yard, then the Nethergoyf dies as a state-based action. But I think this line beats like Galvanic Discharge on the Shadow or Thraben Charm on the Nethergoyf. Sweet. We just going to be out here farming the Boros energy players with Jund Shadow? Is that is that what's happening today? That'd be wild. So game 2, I need to be careful of Celestial Purge on a Shadow. What do we got? most things I'll respond with Unholy Heat the Guide. That will Unholy Heat the Ragavan. I'm just going to go Moonshadow, Nethergoyf. I don't really have to play around Blood Moon because I've got the basic forest already. So if they were to play Blood Moon next turn, I could forest, traverse for the swamp, and like Magebane Lizard. If it's just Flage, I gotta find an answer for it, but I'll be 3/4 of the way to Delirium. Guide plus Ocelot Pride is annoying. We can't get Shadow down here. Dang it. Yeah. My out definitely involved them like ignoring the Shadow and giving me a chance to find Delirium to traverse for Abigale. I don't think I've got any outs from this point. It's like Pyroclasm no longer hits the Pride or the Guide. I do have Delirium. If there's anything I could get here. Could get Trespasser, hit the Flage. I could get Abigale, lose a counter off the Moonshadow, and Abigale it. Is that my play? It's got to be right. So we Catacombs, try to get a couple more counters on the Moonshadow, get a Raucous Theater. I'm gonna keep this on top just because I want it to maybe not get shown for when we go to game 3. So I'm assuming we're gonna go to game 3. Okay, calm down. Yeah, so I think leaving the Pyroclasm on top there and not showing them is a bit better. 5 lands, Shadow Bauble. This is pretty okay. Keep, throwback. It's like Thoughtseize. Go turn 1. Stomping Ground. Stomping Ground, traverse for swamp. See what they got going on. Moonshadow. I'll play you out. If they want to spend a removal spell on that, that's fine. Surgical extraction? Sure. That's what you want to treat this game as. I no longer have any copies of Moonshadow. What I do have is a particular set of skills that make me a menace to people like you. So just traverse for a Nethergoyf? Or do I want to traverse for a land? I could traverse for like Peatland or something, and then have the other traverse to get a Graveyard Trespasser in case they just have Flage this next turn. But I guess Flage wouldn't be the end of the world. They know about Pyroclasm and Unholy Heat. Johnny, sure. Is there a reason that I shouldn't just Pyroclasm right here? Am I worried at all about Mana Tithe? Well, if they had Discharge, they probably should have just discharged on their turn. I would think. Oof. Yay. Kept something on top. What would you keep on top in this spot? Is it a Roku? Dash Rag. Sure. Rag hits Mishra's Bauble. Is there anything to traverse here that makes sense? I could just get another Nethergoyf. That's not bad. Is there anything better? Probably not. Does damage go through? Holy Heat. All right. That's what I got. Theater, see if we can get these Goyfs up to lethal. Keep that on top. Compare pretty well with our Death Shadow. One Grist to traverse could be good. I don't think so. I think Grist is only good against exactly the blue-black decks. And I don't think it's necessarily worth it for like such a small amount of matchups. What did opponent say? Opponent said GG's. I don't know if that means that they just have nothing in hand. But they said GG's before. Oh, actual GG's. Okay. Do you think they were being sarcastic? Now he does not have lethal. Well, I guess if he shoots me, he's got lethal. Unfortunately, I know my top card is Abigale. So I could have played out the Shadow last turn and didn't. So kind of punted ourselves out of that win. Oh, I didn't even notice that I didn't have a creature in my yard. Yeah, we should have Abigale or bend Abigale. I could have sworn I had a creature in the yard. That's 100% punt on me. All right, well. Oh, I also could have just Abigailed the Flage. Oh my god, I stopped thinking after the Flage came down. Just punt city there. Punt city. That's like a series of paper plays, because in paper I'm checking my graveyard for exactly what card types I have, uh, and then checking the surveil to see if it pumps the flate or pumps the Nethergoyf. I'm never assuming that I've got creature in the yard in that spot, but on Moto it's just point and click and gets you into trouble. Another affinity. They have Claws of Gix on top of the library. So I can take Mox Opal, and they don't currently have a second mana source. Any good advice for modern deck choice? Play what you feel like playing and don't punt away matches with it. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. All right, I think I'm just going to go Raucous Theater Nethergoyf here. Street Wraith does grow the Nethergoyf, but I'd rather keep it on top in case I draw into a shadow after. Son of a... ah! I know they could have gotten that online next turn off the Opal, but... Or next turn off of Saga getting Opal. All right. Attack in. Opponent doesn't fall for our trickeration. I had the opportunity there that if opponent didn't, or if they blocked the Nethergoyf, I could fetch, grow it up to a 4/5, and then unholy heat like my own Renin 6 and grow it pretty good. All right, so this Kappa's up to a 7/7 this turn based off known information. Could just heat the Kappa. I'm not going to punt that time. right, so Kappa is an 8/8. Well, heating the Planeswalker would give me like extra power on these Nethergoyfs. Yeah, I want to get the other card type in the yard. So that does nothing for me. Hitting Needle, naming Renin 6. My out is Mishra's Bauble missing. So, like, they don't hit an artifact off the Mishra's Bauble. They don't hit an artifact for turn. And I find a Battle Rage. Just tuned in, praying this deck is good. How's it been? Well, we're 2-1, and I punted the hell out of my last match. So, we could be 3-0 right now, but all right, all right. Could be 3-0, but I am what the kids would call a chungus. Is there ever a world where we want, like, Magebane Lizard against them? Slash, do I want Charmaw? A little worried that Charmaw might just be too slow. You're on the play. If you get Lizard down turn 2, might not be terrible, especially if they land at Emery. It's possible. Like, I could probably trim a Nethergoyf because they're bringing, or they've got Tormod's Crypts. It's pretty bad. This is better. I definitely need a second land. But I do have Vexing Bauble on 1. Hopefully slow some stuff down. Sorry, but I feel like Mark is so bad. I never know how how people want me to respond to comments like that, because, like, I don't think I've been spending the entire stream going, oh my god, Patra's Mark is the best card ever, you have to play 4 of them or you're punting. Just kind of like, if you don't want to play a Patra's Mark, then don't play a Patra's Mark. But I'm just trying stuff out, seeing how it does. E on 1. So I guess this means I just want to go ahead and pop this Vexing Bauble. Draw a card. Cool. We'll Pyroclasm away the board. Like, I think Patra's Mark has got the potential to fill a role. It's just whether or not you see spots that, like, that applies. That does get Delirium online. So let's go. Do I want to just go like Shadow Traverse for a Collector Oof? Or I could just Traverse for... Nah, can't Traverse for Abigale because then he just blows up my Shadow. I think this is just going to be like, take a hit here, get down oof, Shadow dies, play new Shadow next turn and try to Battle Rage for lethal. Yeah, I know it wasn't a diss. It's just like, I don't know what I'm supposed to say about it. It's there. If they EE, maybe I just fatal push the Pinnacle Emissary here. Is that? Yeah, let's just do that. Next turn we can like, fine, manufacturing, sure. Teamer Battle Rage, a Collector Oof for lethal. All right, here's a Shadow. Go ahead. Yep. This means that they can't sink into Stupor my Shadow. That also doesn't matter. No. Let me go to my turn so I can TBR this Shadow. I've got subscribers to appease. So bring in Mark on the draw. Just to try to pump up our Moonshadow in a racing situation. Well, if I don't get turn one blown out of the water, this is pretty good. It's also good. So do I just want to get Swamp here? Save a little bit of life. Blood Moon. That feels illegal. All right, so we get down Collector Oof next turn. Maybe. Maybe I don't. Maybe I just go for like a Nether Goyf or something here. Moonshadow. I kind of want to try to set up Abigale. Let's start here. Good choice. Cap a Cannoneer on top. Which they can play next turn, even if I Collector Oof. So I've got to go for Abigale here, right? Gonna shock in, play Shadow, Traverse for Abigale. How are we doing? We're 2-1. Like I mentioned previously, I punted last round pretty bad. So I need to draw another land. I need to get Collector Oof down so they can't just get a what's it called? An Aether Spell Bomb. Oh boy. What's my line here? I know that their last card is Basic Island. And I know that they have a Pinnacle Emissary Warped. So they can get a Kappa Cannoneer trigger next turn. So it's at 6 virtually. 6, 7 off the Urza Saga, 8 if they make a construct. So I'm dead on board if I just go for Collector Oof. So I cannot do that, which means I have to Abigale my Shadow and hope that they don't have a copy of Aether Spellbomb in their deck. I think that is my play. And I have to attack because if I sit back, I could just be dead to a Kappa Cannoneer. No Aether Spellbomb. No Aether Spellbomb. No Aether Spellbomb. No Aether Spellbomb. Okay. Lava Spur Boots is not an Aether Spellbomb. Just another Kappa Cannoneer. Okay. Is this just like super out racing me? They hit for 13. I hit for 13 back. They have a Pinnacle Emissary. They hit me for 15. Oh no. Did they punt? Did they punt? This does not have flying last I checked. It's a puntacular. We punt last round, opponent punts this round. So these drone tokens can only block creatures with flying. So they can block Shadow, but the Kappa Cannoneer cannot. I needed the Collector Oof down so that they wouldn't be able to block with a drone and sack it to Claws of Gix to prevent me from gaining the life. So that was kind of my out, was them not having Aether Spellbomb to bounce my Shadow, give me an opportunity to get down Collector Oof to stop Claws of Gix to start trying to race the Kappa Cannoneer. But well, I attack in for 13 life link, and if they keep hitting artifacts, they're attacking me back for more unblockable. Like they'd be hitting for 13 with their kappas, and then 15 the next turn, then 17 the next turn, 19 the next turn, and making drones every turn with their pinnacle emissary to block the shadow. So at some point, someone's got to miss. And technically, they're the ones that would be chipping me down if they keep hitting. Hapatra being good there for protection. I have not cast Hapatra yet. Pass. Bench, what's up? We're currently 3-1, and the loss I punted. I punted bad. All right, there's something. Not a very good hand into a fast Eldrazi start. See if you got a Kozilek's command. You got it, you got it. Hold up. Hold up. Definitely the matchup, or one of the matchups we want that Hapatra's mark for. I'm not going to cast it right here because I don't want to get blown out by a Kozilek's command. Read and know that the end is nigh. They did scry to the top. They have another Kozilek? No. Formidable Speaker, World Breaker, Eldrazi Temple. Take the Eldrazi Temple. Play the Shadow to die and play Abigale to save him. No, Shadow dies is a state-based action. If you're below 13 life or above 12 life, there's no priority opportunity to do anything between it hitting the battlefield and dying. Well, the awkwardness of Abigale rears its ugly head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I'm just going to go ahead and Unholy Heat one of these spawns. I don't have Delirium anyway, and if they don't have another land, this might stop them from casting a 7-drop. If they have Ugin, I don't think we're winning this game in a million years anyway. I think I'm just not going to play the Abigale. Just going to attack him with my 2 shadows. Because if they don't block one of these and I get in for a chip here, then next turn I can Abigale fly if one of my shadows survives and swing over for lethal. But like if I just go for an attack here, if I Abigale first and attack in, they block the shadow on the ground, they take the Abigale in the air, and then they have a known world breaker that can just stand in front. So I think this plays better around them doing something like Devourer this turn, exile 1 shadow, and then I just get an airborne shadow to swing in next turn. Just Emrakul. Well, not playing around that one very good. I mean, I guess technically they get to eat one of my shadows, and then I get to Abigale the other one. Well, he's got to Abigale his own Sowing Myco spawn here, I think. You, yeah. I don't think there's any reason not to Abigale anything else than the Sowing Myco spawn. Because, like, if you Abigale your own Emrakul, it loses, or I guess it keeps flying. So maybe that's fine, but I feel like just Abigaling the Myco spawn's better. Maybe it doesn't matter. Having 2 flying blockers seems pretty good, and against a deck that you know is running some number of Abigales. So I got Charballs, Damping Spheres, a whole bunch of stuff I don't care about. maybe Collector Oof. Don't want Fatal Push. Don't really want Unholy Heat. Dismember. Seems reasonable. Imricul the Promised End. Not a card that Jund can beat very easily. Keep this. Turn 3, Charmaw on the play. Maybe Street Wraith can find us like a Thoughtseize. Probably missed early, but likes and wants so far for the list. Abigale's been pretty good. Nethergoyf's been good. Shadow's been good. Hepatra's Mark we've like barely seen. Tarfire and Seal of Fire haven't really done anything relevant. Moonshadow's been okay. It's better than it was in Grixis yesterday. I want some more hand disruption. Like when I used to play a lot of Jund Shadow, I was on like 7 or 8 pieces of 1 mana hand disruption because it was so necessary. And I think the last time I played Jund Shadow, I was on, I think I tried out like 4 Thoughtseize, 3 Dreams of Steel and Oil or something like that. And I remember it being pretty okay. I kind of want to go back to something like that. Traverse the Ulvenwald has been good. What did I say about wanting a Thoughtseize? Eldrazi Temple, Formidable Speaker, Talisman, Rumble. Formidable Speaker definitely looks like best card available. Rumble's first thing they cast that I care about. I think it's between Rumble or Speaker. There is a little bit of an outside argument for Talisman so that they can't go Talisman on 2, hold up Unholy Heat. Because at the moment, I'm only going down to 11, so Shadow would be a 2-2. And that would give them a really big tempo swing turn. There's third land for Charmaw. Might help if I clicked on the right Shadow. Stomping Ground, Patcher's Mark while they don't have Unholy Heat up. I'm a little bit surprised they would go for the Rumble this turn instead of the Talisman. I kind of feel like getting the permanent mana down's a little bit better. Go ahead and Tarfire you. I'll play the Shadow, give them another removal target if they want it. Because if they go like Talisman, Unholy Heat here, I just get to untap Charmal, the Eldrazi Temple, hopefully. What did they get off the Rumble? Got Devourer. I was a little worried they weren't going to let us play this Charmal. Seal of Fire doesn't do anything I care about. Battle Rage off the top. One time. All right. Which one of these are we playing? If I play Damping Sphere, they've got 4 mana, potentially 5 available for whatever. If I play Charmal, they've got 4 mana for Eldrazi specifically. Nice. Don't think there's anything I necessarily want. So just roll it back. Turn 2 Shadow. 2 card types off of Traverse for Abigale. This does not look good enough to me. Especially knowing I've got like 3 Damping Spheres in the deck. What do I think about this? I could throw back Hepatra's Mark, Raucous Theater, Street Wraith, potentially a couple card types. I could Ren Ping itself to get Planeswalker in the yard. I think this is kind of worth it, just trying to set up for a turn 4 Charmal. So I don't need to worry about lands anymore. What's my turn 1? Just get Blood Crypt, Cycle Wraith, look for a Thoughtseize. I mean, when you plan for things, sometimes it works. Just take Kozilek's Command, go. Ghost quarter me, you coward. I think I'm just going to Raucous Theater and try to set up Delirium for this Traverse. That does not. So this might very well be a case of Ren and 6, ping myself. Formidable Speaker. Discard Ice Till. Yeah, Ren and 6 deals 1 damage to any target. It can ping itself, but if I ping myself first, then I can get Shadow down without having to worry about Unholy Heat. But since they played this Formidable Speaker, I'm going to try to attack and ping that. Or do I ping them? One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5. Because now I got to think about Abigale. They can also Ghost Quarter themselves to get Unholy Heat online if they want. Well, I mean, I hope they just Myco. That would be best case scenario for me because I could just traverse for Charmaw down the Ugin's Labyrinth with the Emrakul. Formidable Speaker is also +1 on their mana. Oh, hold up. If they have to tap this Talisman for Myco spawn, they go to 14, which means Ren ping them plus Traverse for Abigale is just lethal. No! No! Worst case scenario. Not absolute worst. All right, that's pretty bad for us. I still get to Charmaw, but So opponent forgot to fetch before they unholy heated. So they do not get delirium to kill my Nethergoyf. Little victories. All right, that gives me delirium without having to use up my Renin 6. So that's cool. So now do I want to... I could bobble myself. Yeah. Bobble myself to see if it's something I want. Abigale, I don't think I want. So I'm going to get back a fetch land. I don't even have to get back a fetch land. I could just play out the Stomping Ground and Traverse will shuffle away. Do still have Delirium. So Traverse for Charmaw. Charmaw is going to come in and blow up an Ugin's Labyrinth. Hiya. They do still have a Myco spawn that we know about. Rin Ping plus Battle Rage? Rin Ping plus Battle Rage? On an Obsidian Charmaw? Swamp Fox, thank you so much for the follow. Hope you're having an awesome afternoon. Appreciate you coming around and hanging out. All right, opponent. I believe you were dead. This wins even through like Bajuka Bog on me. Got it. We're definitely going to run back another Jund Shadow League after this with some adjustments. Got him. Got him. All right, opponent. Rin Ping you. Cycle Street Wraith, just, you know, because magic. Verdant Catacombs you know about. Would you like to block? Ah. Oh, man. TBR and Obsidian Charmaw for lethal. How do we have the TBR counter? It's exclamation TBR kill.